House Swann of Stone Helm is one of the primary noble houses of the Stormlands. They are Marcher Lords, ruling from Stone Helm over the lands surrounding the Red Watch on Cape Wrath in the eastern Dornish Marches. They blazon their arms with an Argentan sable and a swan countercharged. House Swann is an old, noble house, regarded as proud, powerful and cautious. They have governed their lands for as long as any can remember. From Stone Helm, they controlled the Slane, a major river route inland to the Stormlands, gaining them much wealth and power. The Swans and Carons both claim to be the oldest of the Marcher Lords, but in truth, there is no real way to prove either of their claims. Sometime after driving away the pirate presence on the Stepstones in 96 AC, the Lycene captain of the Troyarchy began claiming passengers on board passing ships as a toll for passage. One of these captives was the niece of the current Lord Swann, Joanna Swann. With her infamously ungenerous uncle refusing to pay her ransom, she was thus sold into a pillow house in the free city of Lys. Joanna became a celebrated courtesan known as the Black Swan. She was elevated to ruler of Lys in all but name during this time. While some would view her fate as horrific, given her position and situation, she managed to rise high. During the Targaryen Civil War, the Dance of the Dragons, Ser Balon Swann was amongst the 24 knights present when Lord Boros Baratheon and Prince Aemon Targaryen haggled over the betrothal of the prince to one of Lord Baratheon's daughters. Byron witnessed Prince Lucerys Velarion's arrival and confrontation between the two princes. Shortly after, both parties left, resulting in the fight above Shipbreaker Bay that cost Lucerys his life, and thus the beginning of the Dance of the Dragons. About the same time as the Butcher's Ball, Byron and his squire set out to slay Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen's dragon, Syrax. He tried to kill the dragon by sneaking up on it while hiding behind a silvered shield, so the dragon would only see its reflection. However, Grand Maester Munkin states in his book The Dance of the Dragons, a true telling, that it was in fact Prince Aemon's Vhagar who Ser Byron tried to kill in an effort to end the prince's raids across the Riverlands. Nevertheless, this is unlikely, since House Swann supported the prince's brother, King Aegon II, and the Greens. Another chronicler set in Eustace claimed that the knight tried to slay Sunfire, the dragon of King Aegon II, though this most certainly is a mistake, as Sunfire's whereabouts was unknown at this time. But the courtful mushroom, who was with Queen Rhaenyra, asserts in his testimony that Byron had attempted to kill Syrax, and finally, Ser Byron's squire wrote to either his or Ser Byron's daughter about the knight's death, and said Byron had faced Syrax. Lord Garwin Swann's fool was the one who named Martaris Targaryen, the even younger prince. Garwin then competed in the tourney at Ashad Meadow in 209 AC as an old man, losing to Prince Valar Targaryen. Garwin ignored Sir Duncan the Tall's direct request to join him in his trial of 7. Later, during the waning years of Targaryen Westeros, Sir Barristan Selmy squired for Lord Manfred Swann as a 10-year-old boy. Barristan would later go on to rescue Lady Jane Swann and her sceptre from the Kingswood Brotherhood in 281 AC. During the events of A Game of Thrones in 298 AC, the Lord of House Swann is Julian Swann. Ser Balon Swann, his second son, is one of the outstanding knights in the Hands tourney to celebrate Eddard Stark becoming Hand of the King, defeating Alan of Winterfell, but later being unhorsed by Sir Gregor Clegane. He is among the 3 finalists at the archery competition of the tourney, losing to a commoner from the Dornish Marches named Angai, who would later join the Brotherhood Without Banners. Balon is among the party that accompanied King Robert Baratheon to hunt, but he returned to King's Landing before Robert's hunting accident with the boar in the Kingswood that would later claim his life, something that would raise a lot of speculation and suspicion. During the events of A Clash of Kings, Lord Julian, one of the few Stormlords that agreed to receive Davos Seaworth, and even breaks bread with him. He does not respond to Stannis Baratheon's demands. However, he did not side with Renly Baratheon either. But during the War of 5 Kings, Julian pleads illness and takes no direct part. However, his sons do represent Stonehelm in several causes. The heir to the house, Sir Donal, is first with Renly Baratheon and then with Stannis, and is wounded in the Battle of the Blackwater. He yields to Sir Elwood Hart and is ransomed afterwards before swearing fealty to King Joffrey I Baratheon. After the downfall of Lord Eddard Stark, Sansa Stark sees Ser Balon whispering some words to a drunken Sir Dontos Hollard, possibly recommending him to refrain from hailing her. Balon is among the knights that defends the royal party in the riots at King's Landing. After the riot, Balon is named to the Kingsguard to replace Sir Preston Greenfield. In this capacity, Balon fights on Joffrey's side at the Battle of the Blackwater. During the events of A Storm of Swords, Ser Balon is the first to appear at Tyrion Lannister's trial for treason and regicide after the death of King Joffrey. He states Tyrion is a brave man, having witnessed his actions at the Battle of the Blackwater, and that he cannot believe that Tyrion could have poisoned Joffrey. Later on, during the events of A Dance with Dragons, Ser Balon Swann is sent by Queen Cersei Lannister to Dorne to deliver Gregor Clegane's head. Prince Doran Martell orders his bannermen to delay Balon's arrival with lavish feasts. But when Balon does arrive in Sunspear, the Martells disguise Arianne's abortive attempt to crown Princess Myrcella queen. Balon, under orders from Cersei, invites the Martells to the capital to lure them into an ambush for which Cersei can frame Tyrion. Doran fails to take the bait, however, instead claiming Balon's sworn brother, Sir Aerys Oakheart, was killed by Sir Gerald Dane, known as Darkstar. Obara Sand then joins Balon in the hunt for Darkstar. As of now, until The Winds of Winter is released, that is all we currently know of the history of House Swann.